In some regions, like the Eastern Africa region, we have divided the region into subgroups, and it is participation on rotation. Last year, the representative who came in this council meeting was from the Seychelles, and the Seychelles is an Indian Ocean country. This year, the representative has come from Eastern Africa mainland, which has Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania. Then next year, you might have the Horn of Africa, where we have Somalia, Ethiopia, Djibouti, and others. And next year, you might see a representative from South Sudan and Sudan. So what I'm trying to say is that we have had some of these practices, but maybe some of the council members did not know about them. Initiatives at national level. And you'll find that very different civil society belong to very different networks and so forth and so on. I know some NGOs that are almost in every network. You go to Adaptation Fund, they are there. You go to the GCF observers, they are there. You go to the Climate Investment Fund, they are the same people. You go to New York, they are the same NGOs. But what we are trying to say is, if we can strengthen the support mechanism through GEF, and maybe pilot this CSO government dialogue platform, which you put in the GEF 6 programming direction. In some of our countries, we are piloting it. And the beauty is local CSOs are now talking to agencies in the midst of operational focal points. But we can't do much if we don't have the means. Look, we have to fundraise to remain, the relevant actors in our communities. You have to fundraise to implement projects. Then you have to fundraise to ensure, as an RFP, you continue to play the role of coordination, screening, because if you didn't know, RFPs also screen any applicant that wants to join the GEF, because that was tasked with the GEF CSO Network. Screening, where even you have to review people's income and expenditures reports. You have to do ground truthing, where that NGO exists or not. It costs us money and time. So what we are trying to tell you that we are trying our best to have a clear entry of CSOs. And if all this work is not then being appreciated, then I find it a bit very difficult. Lastly, I want to conclude on the issue of national level engagement and Indigenous Peoples Advisory Group, because that was also a recommendation in the IEO. As now you know, the chair of Indigenous Peoples now meets us in our coordination committee meetings of the GEF CSO network, and we reflect. So we are trying to improve our coordination with Indigenous people. But again, for us to remain, key relevant actors at national level, there's so many NGOs, there have to be means. Up to now, we did a small survey with so many members of GEF in my country, and the interesting thing was the result was so low, which means that many of our members up to now do not understand the GEF architecture. And this is a very critical gap, that if capacity is not understood, if you don't know what you're engaging with, then you can't engage effectively. So much as we want to have so many colleagues participate in the GEF, but we would think the participation will be more meaningful if at least they have a certain understanding and appreciation of, one, environmental issues, and two, also how the GEF does its business. And we can only do that if we have a strengthened engagement at national level through the direct channels we are working with, like the small grants program. We used to have the national dialogues with operational and focal points, but they are no longer happening. We don't know why. So these are some of the things which from I would think the new vision of the GEF engagement with the CSO should include in the whole package, other than only carrying one element into this whole new vision. Thank you very much.